All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. My name is John, and today I wanted to talk about how to go about gear progressing as a non-seasonal character. So for whatever reason, let's say you wanted to start off non-seasonal, here are some tips that I would give you, and also we'll give you some tips for, progressing as a seasonal character as well. But for whatever reason, if you are starting off non-seasons, or let's say this is your second character and you can't transfer over like the Tuvala gear, right? So the first thing I would do, let's say you have no gear at all, what you would do is talk to Fugar. I don't remember if you have to do a level like a quest for it, but I believe you have to just talk to Fugar, and then maybe he'll have a quest line. So what you're going to want to do is get the Narchillan weapons. And basically, these are the equivalent of, they're not quite Pen to Vala level, but they're not baddies either. So let me see if I have a Narchillan Gear. Yeah, so like these things right here. So you can actually get them. And if you don't have Tuvala, let me show you. It is right here. So you can get the body pieces. They aren't enhanceable, but they do give you some decent stats for like an alt or something. So I think this is a good start. I do believe you actually have to do, you can't get it at like level 1, obviously, but you can get it on later on due to story. So this is the good entry level gear. And I guess what you would go for afterwards is probably a level 61 Blackstar, which is something they added a couple of months ago. Maybe not a couple of months ago, like 1 or 2. So basically when you're level 61 and you do like the story quest line or something, basically in your Y tab right here, like your rewards, there'll be an option to pick one of 3 black stars that are at Tet level. So your main hand, your awakening, and your offhand. So what I would pick for a beginner is always the main hand. The reasoning why is it gives 200 and, well, I guess like at Tet level, probably around like 200 accuracy. Let me go look at this right now just to confirm it. It doesn't matter what weapon, they're all the same. So yeah, 200 accuracy at Tet, and whether you PvP or not, accuracy will always be important, because being able to hit the mobs and then of course trying out the higher end spots later on when you get more geared is always more important. And I understand that like you see these numbers, and as a new player, trust me, I get it. You see, oh, bigger number, 131 to 142 versus 131 to 137. But believe it or not, in this game, accuracy is pretty important. And so I would always go for the main hand first, followed by your awakening, and then your offhand third, because we'll talk about that in a second. But the next thing you want to do as a seasonal character, let's say you have all of your Narchillan gear and you got your first Tet Blackstar from level 61. Next thing you would want to do is do the Ulukita questline. And where is it? Let me find this one. If you don't have it, it'll be down here somewhere. So like basically just doing the storyline for the first time. I know this is like a lot and you're like, oh my god, that's like thousands of quests. But over here, like at the end of this quest line, it essentially gives you an Ator's Power Stone, and it's this item right here. So basically the alchemy stone of whatever you have. This is a very good entry level one. So if you didn't do seasons, you wouldn't have extra ones of these. So like if you do seasons, you'll probably have a lot of these spirit stones for like extra XP and monsters. They're very easy to get. They give them out like candy anyway for seasonals and or just event randomly rewards. So if you don't have these, the next best thing you can do is the Ator's Power Stone. And you can only get one per family, but it's okay. And this is one thing I will recommend, because a lot of people, or especially newer players, don't know this. You can recharge the alchemy stones compared to like the one-off usable spirit stones. So you get it, and then you can repair it. So you'd hit this button to recharge your thing, and then your alchemy stone will be right here. Let me actually show you. So here, I used one. This goes for a lot of different ones, different stones, as long as you can repair it. So you hit this button, you do that, you'll get the mystical powders, which you grind up other things for it, like the spirit stones, and then you get powder out of it. hit the button, and you recharged it to max durability. So yeah, that's a permanent one. You could recharge it. It's good, a very good entry level one until you can get to endgame and get your Vel's Heart. So the next thing I would recommend is doing the Magnus questline to get your pen armor. So it's another questline chain. I don't think it's part of the main story, but it is a pretty important one. So let me just take a quick look. It's either in your suggested or main. And it's not Ator. Yeah, it's Abyss 1, the Magnus right here. So once you do this entire quest line, yeah, I know it's a lot of, you see a big number of a lot of quests. It is worth it because it'll give you a box that you can get your first pen boss gear armor. So that includes like the Red Nose Dimtree, what is it? Griffin Gaiath, Uragon Muskin, Beggs, and Lieber. Those choices all at pen, so like one armor piece in total. We'll talk about that in a second. But you get to pick one that's for you, and then obviously there's the evasion side and then the DR side. If you don't know what to do, chances are DR is probably going to be for you until you get more geared, and then you can swap to evasion at some point. But by the time you think you can switch to evasion, you probably don't need my help anymore. So once you get that, I would probably start saving that. Don't do anything with it. Just start wearing it. You don't need to Capris it just yet, because it would probably be better to actually get your gear all to pen first before starting to Capris it, because that also does cost silver. So your best use of money is to get all your gear equalized. For example, you know how people get their pen armors to like Capris 9 or something? You want to do them in order. So like Capris 1 of like your chest piece, and then your gloves, and then your shoes. Like equalize it instead of going 0 to 9, because it costs more for the less amount of stats. So if you do it equally, you get more stats and less money. So that's always good, right? So yeah, let's say right now you have your first, let's say your armors are done because of Narchillan, and then you could replace one of those Narchillan gears with your first pen from your Magnus, and then you got your first Blackstar. Next thing you want to start doing over time, because this one is something you kind of have to do every day for like a month or something, is the Jetina pen accessory quest. So you talk to Jetina right here. She's in every town. And she basically has a quest where, like, I can't show you because I've already done it, but in the future, they're going to be adding a second one. So she's going to give you 3 options of accessories that you can choose from. One would be a pen crescent ring. I do think this is a very good one, so keep this in mind, like when we talk about this. This one is 36 billion right now. It's still probably going to go down a little bit, so price is irrelevant plus whatever server you're on. Let's just say 35, make that an easy to know number. 20 AP, 12 accuracy. The next thing she offers is a Narc earring at pen, which is 15 AP, 5 DP, so like mix it, kind of like a hybrid. But you actually get more damage from Kama Sylvian mobs. So like if you grind in that area, you get more AP. So plus 8 is basically 8 AP. It works 1-to-1. So if you're grinding in Kama Sylvia, it's basically better than the Crescent. But everywhere else, it just gives the extra DP. And the third item she offers you is the Tungrad ring at pen. So this one's just 17 AP. I think this is actually the worst of the 3. I would probably go for the ring first, followed by, the Crescent ring first, followed by the Narc earring, and then Tungrad. However, with that said, you could swap it infinitely. I think it just costs materials after like their second like trade-in. So if you chose wrong, it doesn't matter. You can just trade it in for the one you think you want. So it's not a big deal. I personally chose the Narc earring, and when they come out with the second one, I believe it's next week. From, I guess, when I release this video. She's going to give you those choices again, so you can make a second one, and I'll probably go for a second Narc earring. And, so yeah, those are the things you can get guaranteed just by playing every day, and there's, like, no RNG involved. You just do some questing, level up, playing the game like a normal person would play it. And so, the next idea of gear progression is, let's say, you got your Alk Stone done. You got your armors. Your armors are going to be slow to upgrade because you need 4 of them. And then you got your first weapon done. You still have to go for 2 more. So what I would do is probably start working on your weapons, because the weapons allow you to grind new spots, make more silver, and then everything else. So what you're going to want to look for. So if you, assuming you took my advice and you took the main hand weapon for your Blackstar, your next option would be for the awakening weapon. So it doesn't matter what you pick, or like just pick the class you're playing, and we'll just use this one for example. The one thing you're gonna see 2 options of are Dandelion versus Blackstar. Now Blackstar is considered the best in slot as of right now. It is also like very expensive to get. So the option for you guys would probably be the Dandelion, and because you can get it at Penn for a very cheap amount. 2 billion these days is very easy to obtain, especially for a beginner. So I guess I would probably pick it up. I'm trying to see, like, would I pick it up at Tet first and try to make it to Penn? Probably not, because 2 billion, it's a lot easier to get 2 billion and guarantee it at Penn without the RNG than just buy it at Tet and then potentially have it downgrade. So it's one of those things where it's like, what should you do? I think the right answer is just save a little bit more and just basically wait until you get it. So basically, with the Narchillan Gear, let me just show you where it would be in terms of stat wise. Where is it? So this is the Wusa set that I picked up a while ago. So 109 to 115. I do believe they're slightly, where is it? 109 to 115. Yeah, slightly worse than that. So let me see. Yeah, so it's slightly worse than Tet, but it's like a good placeholder. And then followed by Kudum and Nuver, which is your sub weapon. So every class for sub weapons have 2 options. Well, I guess a Blackstar, which is the equivalent of a Kudum, and then a Nuver, which is more for the PvPers. So it's good to have both, but if you never want to do PvP in this game, you don't even need a second one. So for me, there's like a Nuver, Kudum, and Blackstar. Blackstar is kind of like the end game choice that you upgrade to eventually. Kudum is for PvE, so if you like grinding, doing bosses and everything, general overall usage will probably be better for a Kudum. And a Nuver is the PvP option. So what I would do, because the price gap is a little bit different for the offhand, is I would actually buy a Tet, because the price from Tet to Penn is actually a bigger jump. Well, it's not as bad nowadays as it was years ago, but I would get a Tet just because it does give a lot of extra AP against monsters on it. And so this would allow you to grind a little bit higher and basically AP against monsters, like literally anything that's not a player. That's essentially like 58 more AP. It doesn't give it to you on the sheet, but it adds it to your stats right here. So basically, this is very important to have, whether you want to push up into the higher grind spots. Your offhand would probably give you the most stats technically for that one. So you want to pick up a Tet one of these. And then later on, I believe they give you a quest line. I don't remember which one, but Lara, she basically gives you beginner artifacts, which are these thingies right here. So I think the ones you get first are extra AP against monsters and some sort of like defensive one. So what you're going to want to do with artifacts as a beginner, there is no right or wrong answer to what you choose. It's more kind of like tailored to your play style. And so whether you like doing whatever, here's what I would recommend for most people with artifacts and Lightstones. You can buy them on the market as well. Well, the Lightstones anyway. But this is something I would choose. If you're just trying to level up, go for 4 of these Wind Alert ones, because it gives you like 100 or 25% combat XP times 4 of them, so it's 100. And then by having 4 of them, you get another 300% for the set effect. So that's like 400% already So if you're just trying to push levels and everything, it's a good way to go. And so when in doubt, and you don't know like what to do for like Lightstone combos, you could Google a guide, or just there's probably a spreadsheet somewhere out there that gives you all the combinations of Lightstone combos. But as a beginner, and like let's say these aren't your highest priority just yet, I would probably just go straight up like whatever AP or some sort of damage ones are. Let me look at this, for example. Let me just see what's available so I can give you an accurate representation. So fire is always the offensive, earth is more defensive, wind is more utility, kind of like HP, stamina, MP kind of stuff. Flora is life skilling. Specials are combinations. So iridescent, you would combine this one with a few other combinations of whatever, and then it gives you bonus effects. You're gonna have to Google up a detailed sheet for this one. So basically you want to go into the fire Lightstone category. The higher valued ones are the more endgame ones, but for the rest of us, I would just go straight up extra AP against monsters, because that is basically more AP. So even if you put 4 of them in and you get like a bonus 12 plus whatever set effect, that's still more HP to grind a new spot. So that'll allow you to go higher up into a new spot maybe. And or if you do PvP, AP is always nice as well. Accuracy, it's used every now and then, but I guess for beginners, I would just straight up add more monster damage just because it helps you. So yeah, that's artifacts and Lightstones. When in doubt, just add more AP, and then you get like, what are these? Where is it? Extra AP against monsters. It's basically 1-to-1, so allows you to grind higher spots. Always good to go. Have 2 of these, more AP, whatever, and then you're good to go. So let's say your journey is good so far. You have monster damage artifacts, you have Lightstones, you got your Ator's Power Stones, and you're slowly but surely getting your weapons and armors done. What should you do for accessories? Now, this one is a little bit tricky because it does require playing the seasons every now and then, but like eventually it is worth getting. So every time you play a season, you're basically gonna get like a season exchange coupon, right? So these basically give you a pen capotia ring, or like accessory in general. These are good placeholders early on. So what order would I go for? I would personally go for the necklace first, because this gives you the most amount of AP, followed by either the belt or rings. You can get 2 rings and then 2 earrings, and then followed by the belt. So whichever one gives you the most AP early on, you want to get that one. And then after that, I believe these are all just fail stacks, so pretty irrelevant. And then the Perilla Star is like a defensive alchemy stone, but we already got the Ator's Power Stone from the Questline, right? So the defensive one, it's okay, but like honestly, the way things go in this game is like, if you do more damage, you clear faster, and defensives are more for like specialized builds for like PvP or whatnot. So that's why I kind of tell you to build more offensively. That way you can clear things faster, make more silver and everything. So yeah, that's some tips I can give you for progressing as a non-seasonal. But if you are on seasonal, this is kind of like post things. I would always recommend starting with a seasonal character, just because it does give you a lot of benefits. So what you would want to do is get everything to pen. And then after, assuming this is your first time graduating seasons, it'll allow you to convert all your gear, well, like weapons and armors, to boss gear, which would look similar to this. And it'll be at Tet for like different boss gears, and you'll know them because you did the Magnus questline, right? And so they basically give you the choice of all of these, but at Tet level. And then you have your Magnus one that's already at pen, so don't choose the same one. And then you start upgrading your gear from there. So yes, it is a lot more beneficial to start on a season. But those were some tips that I can give you, whether you want to play a second character and you don't have any more season tokens or whatnot, whatever they call it these days, And yeah, hopefully that helped you. And if you have any tips that you can share with other people, always happy to read them as well. But if you are a new player or a returning player and just need help, I do have a Discord. You guys can ask questions there. I do have a channel for a lot of guides that I have as well. So you can just read all my updated guides for whatever topic you have, or you can just ask. I'm happy to point you in the right direction. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, would love to see you guys come back. And I've been playing this game for almost 8 years now. That's kind of crazy, actually. And I didn't have these guides to help me back in the day, so I just kind of had to figure it out. So if you need any help with anything, there's a lot of stuff you can find. Just check out the playlist in the description, or you can just find my updated guides in my Discord, and it links you to a video that I've made, and it's probably easier to just search it there. But anyway, would love to see you guys come back. See you tomorrow with more cool stuff, and have a fantastic day. Peace.